special Sunday repeated on Wednesday program, and this is
the mojo here. The winning boys magic.
Marge, this ticket doesn't just give me a seat. It also gives me the right, no, the duty to make a complete ass of myself.
But as for me, I'm off to battle aliens on a faraway planet.
Hello, operator, give me the number for 911.
Who sent you here? Can't talk, little man? Bet can't play none either.
I could pull a better cartoon out of my ass. Hey, whoa! Wasn't that great, kid?
Oh, bitch, bitch, bitch.
Kill my boss. Do I dare live out the American dream?
Overload. Pleasure overload.
Uh-oh. 2 independent thought alarms in one day.
Good morning, Woodticks and Patriots. Welcome to another exciting Just Jim show in the morning. A Sunday repeated on Wednesday morning, right here in the bunker. I wish I be gone, but here we are. We have no options. Can't get away from it all. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, you just got to live at Lake Wish I Be Gone. But it is a beautiful morning. Sun is cresting on the western shores. Things still are not quite working correctly, but hey, that's Lake Wish I Be Gone. If you're familiar with Lake Wobegon, where everything works perfectly, this is kind of not like that. But today, we're going to talk about Iran, some international stuff going on. There's some protests over there, and what the hell are they doing? Power up! We're starting off the day right. This is an adult show. Put the kids in the back room. We're going to talk about the United States Space Force. We're going to tell you about how many ants are in the world today. Do you really want to know that? But hey, we're going to talk about the ants. The ants, if you remember, I forget which movie it was, Lord of the Rings. The ants are going to war. Minnesota's back in the news. Yeah, between the teachers union and fraud, they're getting to be as bad as California. Does that mean Wisconsin has something to say about that fraud thing? I don't know. We have a record number. I can't talk about the border. It's secure. Trust me. Let's see. I'm going through my notes over here. What is this? Oh, yeah. There was a lady who was an informant. And, oh, man, you will not believe what she did or had done to her. Custom officials are back in the news again at the border. Or is it just a government agency? We'll find out about that. And a 20-year-old convicted person is let go. That and much more on the Just Jim Show this September. What is today? The 21st, 2022. We'll be right back. Got to pay some bills. If I can figure this out, there it is. Oop, wrong button. We're hitting the wrong buttons this morning. Welcome back to the Just Jim Show. Wednesday. Repeated on Sunday, repeated on Wednesday show. Hey, right off the bat, Iran. You say tomato, I say tomato. Apparently, there were protests going on and have been recently, days after a 22-year-old woman died while being held by the morality police. Can you imagine living in a country where we have morality police? Now, there are some on the left that say the right should, would, and does have a morality border. And they don't want to tag on. These headphones are driving me nuts. Sorry. And long story short, these guys got a morality police department. And the Quran is the dictating book that they do their thing on. Anyway, the death of Mahsa Amini, who had been picked up by Iran's morality police for her alleged loose headscarf, or hijab, has triggered daring displays of defiance in the face of beatings and possible arrest. Yeah, picture. Do I have pictures here? I had them. I don't know what happened to them. There we are. Where are we? There we go. Yeah. Nope, I'm going wrong one. There it is. Whoops, wrong one. Second screen. I got way too many buttons going on here. Yep, there's the morality police on motorcycles coming to get them. They're burning their hijabs, blah, blah. Many Iranians, particularly the young, have come to see Amini's death as part of the Islamic Republic's heavy-handed policing of dissident and the morality police's increasing violent treatment of young women. We know that, don't we? I didn't mean to go the next shot there. And apparently they're not giving up. They've been protesting now for 2-3 days. And some demonstrators still chant death to the dictator, targeting the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei's rule in Iran's theocracy, despite the threat of arrest, imprisonment, and even the possibility of a death sentence. You got to give it. Does this ring true to anything that's ever happened in American history? Here in America, my America, your America? We've gone through a lot of changes, and it seems to be the extremes that force those protests. And this is exactly what the rest of the world seems to be finding out. And I would, well, yeah, I guess you got to understand the political fundamentalism that the morality police in the Revolutionary Guard figure that they're doing. I'm sure that's going to put a target on my back. But hey, it is what it is. Iran requires women to wear a headscarf in a way that completely covers their hair when in public. Only Afghanistan, under the Taliban rule, are now actively enforcing similar laws. Ultra-conservative Saudi Arabia dialed back its enforcement over the past couple of years. And y'all know why that's happened, because we keep sending airplanes and munitions to our friends in the Middle East, trying to maintain some form of connectivity. Isn't that what we all want? Connectivity. And along, I got to jump around here a little bit because life is getting hectic for this guy. And so I'm a little discombobulated for a little bit. Here's a story here. We were talking about this on the intro. There in Alexandria, Louisiana, a woman outfitted with a tiny microphone and hidden camera walked into and up to dilapidated drug house on a chilly afternoon last year looking to buy meth from a dealer known on the streets as Mississippi. Now, and this apparently according to this article, is very commonplace where you have an informant or someone who is voluntarily decided to try to clean up their neighborhood, get rid of some of the things. that are not necessarily good to the American way of life. But as the informant disappeared inside with a career criminal with a rap sheet spanning 3 decades, that would, for those of you woodticks that don't know math, that 3 decades is 30 years. Her law enforcement handlers left her undercover on her own. And this is kind of sort of where the story goes from good, where someone tries to stand up and do what's supposed to be done as a patriot, to terribly, terribly wrong. And as I said, according to this article and sources, this is not uncommon to have an informant walk into a buy or a drug house or a whatever place, maybe wearing a wire, but nobody's listening. Hello? Yes, it goes bad. Under the threat of violence, the dealer forced the woman to perform oral sex on him twice in an attack so brazen he paused at one point to conduct a separate drug deal. Hello? Anybody listening? It was one of the worst depictions of sexual abuse I have ever seen, said a local official who viewed the footage. She had a camera on her, too. And spoke to AP on condition of anonymity. Can't talk this morning. Because he wasn't authorized to discuss the ongoing case, which is how typical is that? That's right. Just the audio from it is enough to turn your stomach, the official said. It's a female being sexually brutalized while she's crying and whimpering. Even as the woman cried and her assailant threatened to put her in the hospital, narcotics deputies remained down the block over at Lake Wish I Be Gone. Yep. And they never considered such an attack might happen, and the devices the woman carried didn't have the ability to transmit the operation to law enforcement in real time. It's being recorded, but nobody's listening. Lights on, nobody home. And this is what's going on. So I don't want to say this, but could it be that this LEO group needs to be defunded or refunded and have extra equipment picked up so that you can actually listen in live real time and step in? Hell, our actors on TV, send in the troops. It's going bad. It was recording, but there was nowhere for my guys that they couldn't monitor. It said, Rapides Parish Sheriff Mark Wood blaming the January 21 incident on his inexperience from only being in the job 6 months. And if you listen to this show at all, you hear me constantly talking about responsibility and repercussions when non-qualified people take a job and then in the middle of it all claim, well, I didn't know the gun was loaded. I didn't have the experience, but here I am. I'm taking the money. I got the job title, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Right here. The case in this central Louisiana city of 47,000 people underscores the perils of confidential informants that they face seeking to work off criminal charges in loosely regulated and often secretive arrangements with law enforcement. Police rely on informants in a wide range of cases, compensating them with money or leniency in their own cases. So, and you know how that is. It's called a plea deal, except you got to go out on the street and earn your plea. Records show it wasn't until the woman left the area on her own and contacted her handlers. I love the terminology. That deputies searched a single-family home and arrested Antonio D. Jones, 48, on charges of second-degree rape. How do you call it second-degree rape? Because you didn't see it? But you heard it. in a single false imprisonment and distribution of meth after recovering 5 grams of substance in this thing. Just 3 weeks after her recorded assault, records show the woman was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia stemming from an arrest that happened about a month before the sting. And she's been pulled over and booked in possession charges at least twice since then. Let's think about this. Let's follow the dots here. You say you're going to try and turn a new leaf over, and you go to the LEO organization that's busted you and say, yeah, I'll work for you. I'll give you my suppliers and this, that, and the other. And you go in there and you get brutalized. You're already possibly an addict. And then this happens to you while you're trying to do, motivation may be a little askew. But guess what? You still tried to do it, and you were let down by the system that's now going to brutalize you yet once more. Now, I'm not an addict lover. I think it's the crux of 90% of the problems in America today. Fentanyl. Now, I take that back. The secure southern border couldn't be letting drugs in. No way. And here the system just takes a shit on you. For those of you who are new to this show, every time you hear that buzzer, money goes into the kitty and it goes to a nonprofit local organization that's my penance for swearing. I'm not a sailor, but I swear like one. This is just, I don't know. You could go on and on and on, and this article does. I see here, Michael Levin, a former U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agent who worked undercover for years, sees this, quote unquote, I see this as a massive ineptitude. No shit, Sherlock. Once again, now these are people who are supposed to be doing good, are supposed to be on our side, my side, your side, trying to rid our streets of the ills of the drug. And we lay this lady out, we hang her out to dry. But we're doing good. We need more money in our department. I'm sorry, this is a yin-yang thing. It's both sides, and I'm telling you that it's just not cool. We need to get our shit together as Americans. Wow. David Redman, a longtime Seattle police officer who now leads training on such things, said the case highlights the vast disparities in law enforcement's undercover playbook. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you can't monitor something live in real time, even this little guy right here has live monitoring equipment that I take out in the field, and somebody sitting in a truck behind me, or you, whoever reporter is reporting, can listen and see what's going on. This ain't rocket science today. Wow. But with many agencies lacking the resources to properly train their officers or monitor informant drug buys. It isn't being trained. This doesn't take a village idiot to run equipment. It really doesn't. Minimal training and away you go. Truck, vehicle, even a portable unit. You set it up, you walk out the door, hit the play button, and away you go. It's the way it is. We do this 10,000 times a day around the country, and not everybody has transmitting equipment. You bet it's tragic. He says it's tragic as hell. Yes, it is. We have no business out there. If you're going to now put people in jeopardy because you need something, or you need to have a record, or compile a list of papers that says, "Oh, we're doing our job. Refund us," as in re-fund us, not refund it. But we, the people, should be saying refund us. None of the officers on the undercover buy in Louisiana were disciplined. The sheriff said, and no other law enforcement agencies were asked to examine how the case was handled. it's just, if this isn't the epitome of asininity in America today, wow, I don't know. I have a hard time with that. Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. Yeah. If that doesn't get you excited and motivated to say, this has to stop, and number one, that has to stop. But is it going on in our community, your community, my community? If you don't ask the question and then be prepared to get the answer, just take a look around. See what shape America's in. I'll tell you, I went out this spring, traveled around, I did 6,000 miles, bombing around the country, trying to find my America. I'm going to tell you, I wasn't real happy with what I found. And it wasn't that it was all bad, not in the least. But there's an astronomical amount of timidness, that people are reserved because they're afraid to be themselves, to be who you are. And once you shake a hand or crack a smile, the whole world shifts. You know, life isn't hard, but we sure make it hard. And with that, let's move right down the road. Ineptitude, or by design or by, like the last story. I was only on the job for 6 months, so I couldn't do the job. Customs officials have copied Americans' phone data at a massive scale over the last, what do we got here? 15 years? You go through the border, guess what happens? Zippity-doo-dah. U.S. government officials are adding data from as many as 10,000 electric devices each year to a massive database they've compiled from cell phones, iPads, and computers, seized from travelers at the country's airports, seaports, and border crossings. Leaders of Customs and Border Patrol Protection told congressional staff in a briefing this past summer. The rapid expansion of the database and the ability of 2,700 CBP officers to access that information without a warrant to details not previously known about the database have raised alarms in Congress about what the government has made of the information. And it's been going on for 15 years. Sorry, I said 10. It's 15 years. Details of the database were revealed Thursday in a letter to CBP Commissioner Chris Magnus from Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon. Every time I see the big D in front of a name, the hair goes up in the back, and I wonder, okay, who's this guy and what's he about to say or try to do? He criticized the agency for, quote, allowing indiscriminate rifling through Americans' private records. Well, I got to say, if you're rifling through American records without cause, just cause, as the Constitution says, where's my little reference book? Right here. Called the United States Constitution. Certain inalienable rights. So if you're rifling through American citizen cell phones, we probably have a problem with it. If it's an illegal alien, I don't have a problem with it. I want to know every ounce of iota of information about the people wading through the river. But it's secure. We have a secure border. I'm telling you, we do, without a doubt. The Tsar says it's secure. Where's my laugh? Whoa! Yes, that's it. Agents from the FBI and Immigration Customs Enforcement, another Department of Homeland Security agency, have run facial recognition searches on millions of American driver's license photos. They have tapped private databases of people's financial and utility records to learn where they live. I was under the impression they lived in Venezuela or Argentina. I can't remember now. They have tapped the database, and have gleaned location data from license plate reader databases that have been used to track people where the people drive. You know those little radar things you got sitting on the side of the road? Do you know what they do besides bounce back your speed? Oh, God. Thursday, the agency conducted border searches of electronic devices in accordance with statutory and regulatory authorities and has imposed rules to ensure the searches are exercised judiciously, responsibly, and consistent with public trust. Oh, Lordy, isn't that a gigantic word? Public trust. The database, known as, quote-unquote, automated targeting system, is used to, quote, further review, analyze, and assess information CBP obtained from electronic devices associated with individuals who are a significant law enforcement, counterterrorism, or national security concern. And how do you know that? Are you on a target list? Are you on a do not fly list? Are you on a do not buy list? I don't know. CBP officials decline, however, to answer questions about how many Americans' phone records are in the database. Hello? And, of course, the standard rhetoric that comes in a hearing, in a congressional or Senate hearing is, I'm sorry, sir, I don't have that information with me. I'll get back to you. How many times have you heard that? In 2018, CBP directive established rules for searches, and officers should only retain information relating to immigration, customs, or other enforcement matters unless they have probable cause that could justify saving more of the phone's contents. So we need probable cause. Wait a minute. Yes, that clause is in this book, among other things, other books. In the briefing this summer, however, CBP officials said their default configuration for some of the searches had been to download and retain all contact lists, call logs, and messages. That sounds like probable cause to me, right? Doesn't it to you? Right on, rock on. He said their office was told 2,700 DHS officials had access to the data. Bowker said that that number is incorrect and that 5% of CBP's 60,000 employees or 3,000 officials were given access. So we're, only a few hundred off. I wonder if that rhetoric would fly in front of a judge. Yeah, you're accused of no, give or take. It's just that number they put down, 2,700, was just a suggestion. 40 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone? Well, no, it's not a 25-mile-an-hour zone. It's just a suggested speed. Yeah. Come on, wake up, people. This crap's out of hand. CBP officials have relied on that exception, meaning probable cause, and then persuaded a judge to approve a search warrant before searching Americans' phones. But courts have long granted an exception to border authorities, allowing them to search people's devices without a warrant or suspicion of a crime, which I am in favor of. If you're an illegal immigrant, not a migrant, as the left calls them, an illegal immigrant, that means you waded through the river holding hands and a bag above your head. That means you haven't gone through the channel. Oh, wait a minute. See, channels is such an interesting, multi-diverse word. Yes, I guess they were in the channel, the water channel. but they didn't go through immigration channels. I can see how everyone would be totally confused. Absolutely. So in a 2018 filing, CBP officials said an officer could access any device, including in cases where they have no suspicion the traveler had done anything wrong, and look at anything that would ordinarily be visible by scrolling through the phone manually, including contact lists, calendar entries, messages, photos, and videos. So the next time you want to send that naughty, naughty, naughty photo, HB, think about it, because it's on the laptop somewhere and your phone, because you can have it everywhere you want. Remember, if you sync your contacts and the information that you have and hold in your electronic devices, it goes everywhere. A meme that I enjoy thoroughly when I see it online is, I grew up during a time when I could do anything I wanted, and there's no record of it. Nowadays, kids can't say that. There's a record of something, everything, somewhere. So I'm going to tell you that some people are taking a look at what the process of the Border Patrol and or LEO are involved with throughout the country. And obviously, if you don't have a patriot, conservative, in office, doing watchdog for you, we the people, we're in trouble, because government will just go cock-a-guru, left unchecked. And if you have something you want to send in to me on the Just Jim Show, go to the email address on the bottom, write it up, give me proof, because I do check sources, and we'll talk about it. We'll take a look at it. It is kind of, sort of important that we do that. With that, I'm going to be right back. First half hour is in. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Just Jim Show in the morning, the Wednesday show. Excuse me. I have it seems like every week down here. It's very dry down here. I got to get some humidifier in here, even though it's kind of humid outside. 60 degrees, apparently a little over 60 degrees here at Lake Wish I Be Gone this morning. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous summer day, because fall is not here yet. It hasn't gotten here a couple days. Tomorrow, I guess, is the first day of fall. Anyway, we were just talking about the channel, the channels. Immigration, migration, not migration, it's immigration, illegal immigrants. Out of the AP here today, record border encounters. More than 2 million. Not one, but 2 million were stopped at the U.S.-Mexico border during the past 11 months. That's not even a year. Excuse me. with a record 2.3 million border encounters projected for the 2022 fiscal year. Now, in a recent interview, one of the national news media people with the immigration czar, was called. Yeah. Says that the border's secure. And I believe her. I'm telling you, I believe her wholeheartedly. But I've been told I don't have a heart. According to the new figures from Custom and Border Protection agencies, it marks the first time the figure has eclipsed the 2 million mark in a single fiscal year and represents an increase of 1.7 million encounters for the fiscal year of 2021. Can you believe that? Now, where the heck does the Associated Press come up with this crap? Huh? I don't get this. I don't know where's my fact checkers? The total is driven by a surge in migration from Central and South America, with a number of immigrants, illegal immigrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, which is up 175% from last year. Let me say that again. Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela are up 175% from last year. In August, roughly 1 in 5 migrants, and they're not migrants, have been already apprehended within the previous 12 months. So, 1 in 5. For every 5 people swimming across, they've been here once before. 1 in 5. In a related news article, a group of migrants transported to Martha's, Martha's Vine by Florida officials filed a class action suit against Governor Ron DeSantis and the state's transportation secretary, claiming they boarded flights from Texas under false pretenses. Well, wait a minute here. Stop. You've got a group of migrants came across into the United States, a governor sent them to a winery with new cell phones. Obviously, maybe some clean clothes. I don't know. I wasn't there. Over my pay grade. And now they mustered up the money that they didn't pay to the coyotes to get into the country to hire a law firm to file a class action suit. When's the last time you filed a class action suit? Oh, man. I don't know how many zeros it takes to hire a law firm and file a class action suit. But false pretenses? That's kind of like the same thing that, who's that other guy, that yellow-haired guy, is getting yelled at for not doing something on January, when the heck was that? Yeah, we're gonna hang you up on the cross because you didn't do something that we know you should have done. I'm going to tell you something. The difference between human rights, humanitarian rights, and illegal, non-existent rights are as far apart from each other as anything you could imagine. There's no yin-yang there. So now you got a district attorney, attorney general in a state filing charges erroneously. Now, is a court going to take it? That's the next thing. Because if I file a lawsuit because of some elected official doesn't do their job, I can't get it taken in damn near any court in America. As valid as it is. Well, no, that was just a misinterpretation. just like the speed limit before. It was just a suggestion. Well, they thought they'd try it. That's a crock out, you know what. But anyway, there's now a class action suit against, is that a political opponent? Hey, potentially. And on the heels of that, we have prosecutors bouncing around in Minnesota. Finally. Yeah. Let's, where's my sloop music? This one here is really, where is it? The sloop. There we go. Yeah. Minnesota fraud scheme. Nearly 50 people in Minnesota. Wait a minute. I guess 50 seems to be the magic number these days. 50 people went to Marta's wine cellar thing. And now we have 50 people in Minnesota who have been charged with laundering an estimated $250 million in pandemic relief aid, which was intended to provide meals to children from lower income families. The case is the largest fraud scheme to take advantage of federal pandemic programs, the U.S. Justice Department said yesterday. Prosecutors claim 47 individuals tied to Minnesota-based nonprofit agency. So that would be the IRS. They've authorized them as a nonprofit, 501c3, Feeding Our Future, falsely reported serving tens of thousands of meals to children across 250 sites, and sought reimbursement for the cost of those meals from the Department of Agriculture's Federal Child Nutrition Program. Stop the presses. Let me just get out of this here now. They're claiming that the Department of Agriculture funded the Federal Child Nutrition Program. We reported 5 years ago when the summer food program started and certain entities in a school district filed falsified documents. We found out that it wasn't the Department of Agriculture that funded the program. It was the Department of Defense. We have the paperwork. We have the documents. You don't like what I'm saying? Come get it. But now the Department of Agriculture is the forefront of $250 million in pandemic relief aid. This is just comedic. I can't say it any plainer than this. The individuals then allegedly laundered the funds through shell companies to buy luxury cars, property, jewelry, and other personal items. I saw part of a rap video where they claimed, "This is how I got rich." Yeah. Okay. They have been charged with conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, and bribery. And you want to get into it? Where are we here? Yep, let me go back over here. Let me go back here. There it is. It's right there. U.S. Attorney out of the Department of Justice, right there. There is the nonprofit Feeding Our Future and 200 meal sites in Minnesota participating in the largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the nation. And I got to say that this is not uncommon. And through personal experience, the food cards that the state issues have been and are regularly sold and are known, the people that buy these things. If you got a $100 food card, whatever they are for food help kind of thing. If you got a $100 card, there are certain people that know where to go. You get $50 cash for it so that you can go do what you want for $50 rather than buy food and feed your kids. Not uncommon. This literally is not uncommon. It's common practice. And I'm going to tell you, that the most staunch defenders of these programs know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so now you got you got 50 drunk people over in the Martha's wine yard. Maybe they were drunk, maybe they weren't. But here's a meme that came up that is so warranting consideration by you and your friends, my friends. Right here. There was a faster response to Martha Vineyard than there was to Benghazi. For those of you that have short memories, y'all know what Benghazi was and is. But think about an overnight response, humanitarian crisis in Martha's Vineyard. A few thousand people live there permanently. 200,000 people live there in the summer. This is, you think about this. Think about it, how true that is. And then come back and you tell me that it's not, that it's a sanctuary state. It's a sanctuary state, and Mr. DeSantis decided to send just a couple of illegal people up there. Might as well do something for your money. I'm going to guarantee, I said this first the other day. I'll guarantee I'm the first person to say it, and it's going to be true. It'll come true. My crystal ball. Where's my Swami ball? That Martha's Vineyard is going to file to get cash. Hello, cash. What makes America turn around? For the expenses that they spent handling their 50 people. Go ahead, mark my words, call me a liar. They are going to turn around and file and get cash because they took in 50 people. And some liberal Woodtick is going to give them the money. They took care of immigrants. They get some money. Give them a couple $1 million. Yeah. And with that, excuse me. Yeah. The question begs. Yes, there are questions that beg. As an American patriot and a voter, a person who's, maybe I'm a little more actively involved than some of you, but I get this question asked to me, I can't say it every day, but damn near every day. What can I do, to help change this in America? What's going on? And I'm just going to go ahead and I got to find my music because it's appropriate. I get asked this question all the time. What can I do to restore the values and principles I grew up with in America? I'm just one person. Like everyone I know, I vote, I talk, I hang out with friends. But what more can I do? It seems like I should be doing more. But I don't have a lot of free time or resources. What can I do to make a difference? I'm putting this together on the fly. Sorry. I'm looking for a song. There it is. Maybe, and this is very true, maybe you need to find a partner. Now, in life, if you got a good partner, you do know that things go better. Maybe you need to find a partner. There's people on TV, you see ads on TV all the time for organizations or somebody making an accusation about a political candidate. And you think, who the hell is this person? Where'd they come up with this stuff for? Well, maybe you just need to find a partner. And with that, hang on. A partner, American Majority Action, which has had an active chapter in Wisconsin since 2010, so that's 12 years, is looking to have people make phone calls and knock on doors over the next 6 weeks in Wisconsin. That's just up to the election time. They're even paying folks to do this. Hello, ding, 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 ding. $20 an hour if you want to go walk around your neighborhood, knock on some doors, ask some questions. $15 an hour for phone calling. One ringy dingy. And this can be done from the privacy of your home in your spare time. Phone dialing is automatic and doesn't use up any of your cell phone minutes. It doesn't reveal your identity. It does not even let people you talk to call you back. They have no clue where you are. American Majority hopes to find and identify freedom-loving Americans who support policies that will help restore America to the great land it once was and get our economy back on track and getting folks out to vote in November and beyond. Become active. To get involved or simply get more information, please call Wisconsin Executive Director Nate Nelson. You can get hold of him at nate@am-action.org. You got that? Nate, I don't have it on the screen, but I'll get something. I'll put it together. Nate@am-action.org. Or call 920-917-8001. That number is 920-917-8001. I've known Nate on and off for a couple of years, and I think he's a good shit. Oh, pardon my French. Shouldn't swear on the reads. But hey, you know, and you need to know good people. You got to partner up with people that know what's going on. They're nonpartisan. You're not having to join, I don't believe. They're a nonpartisan polling organization. And if obviously you ask the right questions, you'll get the answers you want or don't want, or they'll hang up on you. But give Nate a jingle jangle. I will put it up there. If you need to, whoops, let me get back here to this one. If you didn't get this information, send me an email at news@thejustjimshow.com. I will forward you this personal information for Nate, and get in touch with him. Do some good in your neighborhood. You want to know what you can do? Get a hold of some people like this. There's nothing wrong. Nice day outside today. Walk around the neighborhood. Get paid for it. Get some answers. Meet some friends. Make some new friends. That's what it's all about. Your America, my America. Let's get it right this time around. We'll be right back on the Just Jim Show. Hey, welcome back to the Just Jim Show on Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. It's a beautiful day in the Northwoods right here at Lake Wish I Be Gone. A couple of things from the Nobody Gives a Unicorn Poop About file. You have to have some levity in your life. You got to be able to laugh. You know, you really do. just because of all the asininity going on around town. I got to ask $1 million question. No, maybe it's a 20 quadrillion question. How many ants on Earth are there? Hello? I have no clue, but I'm about to tell you. Earth harbors 20 quadrillion ants, and they weigh more than wild birds and mammals combined. Can you imagine that? Can you honestly imagine that? More than wild birds and mammals combined. Have you ever wondered exactly how many ants live on Earth? Possibly not, but it's certainly a question we've asked ourselves. Yes, it is. I'll tell you, the last time we sat around and had a couple of Michelob Ultras, we were talking about the ants because they were all over the chairs. How many of them are there? Our research published today provides an approximate answer. We conservatively estimate our planet harbors 20 quadrillion ants. That's 20,000 million millions. Or in numerical form, 2 with 16 zeros. Oh, man. 15 zeros. All right, so we further estimate the world's ants collectively constitute about 12 million tons of dry carbon. This exceeds the mass of all world's wild birds and wild mammals combined. It also equals about 1/5 of the total weight of humans. Can you imagine that? Those pesky little things zipping around, zip, 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 zip. I had some pictures here, but I don't know where they went. Eminent biologist Edward Olson once said insects and other invertebrates are, quote, the little things that run the world. And here all the time we thought that Pelosi and Feinstein and Schumer were the little ones that ran the world. I guess not. Among other roles, ants aerate the soil, disperse seeds, break down organic material, create habitat for other animals, and form an important part of the food chain. I'll tell you, if that doesn't make your day, I don't know what is. And this was a French, I believe it was a French. Did you know there are 15,700 different species, named species of ants, and maybe others that are not named yet? This could be a major takeover. Oh God, I love it. And on the tail of that, hang on, I gotta show you this one. A little, I guess for now, it's a little known government entity. There was a big to-do about it. The Space Force. Semper Supra is what they've called themselves. A new song. They've got a new song. Can you imagine this? Look at these guys. The United States Space Force. And now we're going to go to Mars. We got the spaceships out there flying around getting pictures back and everything. We need to have a Space Force. This would be kind of sort of like the morality force, the morality police. Eh? Arlington, Virginia. Every branch of the armed forces has an official song, from Goes Rolling Along to the Marines hymn. Each song is part of the service foundation and represents values, traditions, and culture. The United States Space Force, the newest military branch, established in 2019. You know, it's funny how 2019, during the pandemic, we got the Space Force. Hey, I wonder if they got ships that fly around yet. They got a cool emblem. Kind of looks like Star Trek, though. It was established in 2019, has officially adopted its own Semper Supra that was unveiled during the 2022 Air and Space Forces Association Airspace and whatever conference in National Harbor, Maryland, September 20th, just the other day. Semper Supra is named after the USSF motto, which is Latin for always above. It was created in the esprit de corps of both current and future Guardians. Wait a minute, there's a football team called the Guardians, isn't there? And intends to bring together service members, giving them a sense of pride. You know, it's kind of funny because one of my cruxes has fallen directly into this, and I can't wait to see if this is going to follow suit. The Merchant Marines, anybody who listens to my show and or has anything to do with me understands my caveat love for the Merchant Marines. One of the most pissed on branches of service by every other branch of the service. And I'm going to bet you a couple of beans, a couple of K rations, that it's probably going to fall. This is going to fall in the same venue. The song was a long work in progress because I wanted to encompass all the capabilities that the Force offers and its vision, said James Tichenor, a singer-songwriter, created the lyrics and made the vision and more the visionary composer and driving force of the song's creation. Treacher, a prior member of the U.S. Air Force Band at the Air Force Academy, worked with Chief Operations General John J. Raymond to begin the songwriting process. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, he said. And, of course, he did a good job. I haven't heard it. I'm trying to think. I don't remember now. I don't remember if I had a copy of the song or not. But I got the words sort of kind of right there. It says a recording of the Semper Supra and behind the music video can be seen here, blah, 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 blah. We're the mighty watchful eye, guardians beyond the blue, the invisible front line, war fighters brave and true, boldly reaching into space. There's no limit to our sky, standing guard both night and day. We're the Space Force from on high. There you go. That's part of the song, and I got it right here coming off the AP. It was the U.S. Coast Guard Band. Apparently, was it the Air Force? No, it was the Coast Guard Band is the one that sat and presented the song to whatever it was that they were at. I don't know, but I tell you, I'm kind of thinking that this branch of service is gonna fall right by the wayside with the Merchant Marines. Who cares? Until you need what it is they do. And even with presidential decrees, the Merchant Marine has fallen by the wayside, though they get a DD-214, if you know what that is. But they don't mean doodly squat. Yep. And I'm going to close with this, I think. I'm going to run a little over. I just find it to be kind of appropriate in the line of stuff that we've been talking about today, and finding partners that are solid, that actually will help you feel like you've accomplished something. And then you have those people who continue to stand in your way. Now, and I'm not casting aspersions or anything. But I am going to read this story. A Nebraska man hired by a charity to simulate mass shootings was charged with terroristic threats. Hello? A Nebraska man hired by a local charity to simulate a mass shooting has been charged with making terrorist threats. The Omaha World Herald reported that John Channels was advised by Catholic Charities, an organization with branches across the U.S., to make the drill realistic, which he did, complete with paid actors covered in blood. Unfortunately, the simulation caused chaos among employees who thought the shooting was real. Kind of like screaming fire in a crowded theater. One employee told the World Herald she thought she heard shots behind her and jumped off a retaining wall to try to hide in a dumpster. The incident, which occurred on May 19, 2022, began with channels firing at a conference room window of the office building in which employees happened to be gathered. One elderly employee told police she thought she was going to die. This is it, she told the World Herald. Channel's lawyer, Aaron Wetzel, told the publication that Catholic Charities requested a 27-year-old conduct the drill in that specific manner. So they gave him a plan. Here's your plan. This is what you're going to do. Let's see how they react. It's important to note several of the directors went along with it, and while it was happening, they were not informing employees of what was going on, even though they were asked what's going on. Omaha Catholic Charities Executive Director Denise Bartels said in a statement that the group hired channels based on recommendations from respected sources. And he clearly misrepresented himself and his qualifications. Excuse me. That's called plausible deniability. Oh, we have never heard that process before. Well, the channel's LinkedIn page states he's a police officer for the Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, and he's also the CEO of a security firm called Excusia Protection Agency. Neither organization responded to insiders' request for information. The Daily Beast reported the law enforcement said they were not alerted to the drill and responded as if it were an active crime scene. So this is what, and here I'm, anybody who knows me knows that what I'm about to say is the truth. Man gets in the way. An organization decides that it's going to do something, and off it goes, regardless of the baseline of the organization. Man and its inquisitive, demented mind gets in the way. This is a prime example. And I can't even finish reading it because it is so disgusting. Now, especially in the anonymity world, you're going to do something like this, you really do need to have what's called insider information. Those in the know need to know, because citizens and people are such sheep. They don't have a clue. They're so timid right now from all of the real mass shootings that this is just another story that goes to show the psyche of the people in cases where something happens. And it's now ordered by the do-gooder organization. Not a Christian organization, it's a Catholic organization. And I'm going to tell you, just remember how the church has been acting. Oh, woe is me. We had no control over the men, the minds and men that we have in our organization. The Pope just went to Canada to supposedly console indigenous people on the atrocities that were handed out to the children that they were charged with caring for. Not quite cool. Not cool at all. And then he hobnobs with Sniffin' Joe, who's a Catholic, but he's pro-abortion. Nancy Pelosi, big hoopla on the headlines. Oh, they refused me to give me communion because you're an abortion bitch. I'm sorry. I give you a quarter. I can't say it any plainer than that. You go out and wave those flags, there's ramifications. But because they're politicians, they never get an accountability clause. Oh, I don't know. I'm just a politician. I can stay and do anything I want. I have no consequences. What exactly is going on here? You go to work and don't do your job. I say this all the time. You go to work and don't do your job. And trust me, there's a job description. You got to do this, that, and another thing. And if you don't, you get docked. You get fired. You get written up, you get fired. That's what America's all about. Except going out east. And the longer you stay there, the more immunity you seem to have. It's a crock. And who's afraid to say it? Everybody. So they hire, the Pope just appointed 20 cardinals. Of which, let me find the sub-article. Church analyst, here, after appointing 20 new cardinals, the church analyst said most of the appointees fitted with the more modern ambitions of the first ever Pope from Latin America. And it's another whole show. But riffs over some of the more divisive modern issues for the Catholic Church, like abortion, LGBTQ, XYZ chromosomes, were also visible, even among the intake. For instance, U.S. Catholics noted that Rory McElroy was among the small group of U.S. bishops signing statements expressing support for LGBTQ rights and opposing a bid to block politicians in favor of abortion from taking communion. Hello! Doesn't mean anything anymore. Nothing means anything anymore. Not in my America. Hopefully not in your America. Welcome to finding a way to try to make a difference. It's just you can't watch the evening news, the morning news. Hell, you can't watch my show and not just shake your head. What is going on? Yeah, rousing. Not quite. But again, everybody's been constricted into smaller nucleus groups. That's not America. Not America at all. I am going to get out of here. I run a little long. Actually, I'm running short. Normally, I go a couple hours. But my life is getting hectic around here. And I'll make my apologies if I don't make it back on in another week or two. It is getting hectic. I'll just say that for now. And it'll be better tomorrow. And I'm going to say that. Be good to each other, because when this whole mess gets sorted out, all we got left is you and me. That's just us. That's all we have left when it's all over. And until that time, we meet again here at Lake Wish I Be Gone in the bunker. Have a great life. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. I'll catch you next time on the Just Jim Show.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a defender. So God made a patriot. God said, I need somebody willing to sacrifice everything, his fortune, his sacred honor, even his life, for liberty and something called inalienable rights that he cannot see but knows he cannot live without. So God made a patriot. God said, I need somebody willing to ride a horse through sleepy towns in the dark of night, sounding the alarm, entreating neighbors to take up arms against an overwhelming force of wicked tyranny. So God made a patriot. God said, I need someone who, even after crushing defeats, rises up and stands tall. Someone who hears the clarion call that these are the times that try men's souls and does not shrink from the trial. Someone who will cross a frozen river in the dead of winter, when all logic and reason says turn back, abandon hope. So God made a patriot. Then God said, I need a man who knows of the rise and fall of great nations, who knows of human nature and the corrupting influence of power and the fragility of liberty. I need this man along with his like-minded brethren. to write an enduring constitution. So God made a patriot. God said, I need a person, one person, who's willing to do whatever it takes, even write a book to confront injustice and spark a movement that would tear apart a people so that chains will rightfully be shattered and a blessed union eventually emerge. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone who, with the love of family and for the love of country, will cross a vast ocean and storm a heavily fortified beach. And, if he survives, charge through 200 yards of bullets and blood across that merciless beach. And if he survives, scale the towering cliffs. And if he survives, begin the long march to free a continent. And if he survives, return home and, with the same resolute determination, rebuild a nation, and someday be called the greatest generation. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone who will, without thought of self, invest in schools and scouts and church and community, so that the proposition that all men are created equal remains a beacon to enlighten the world, and that such a beacon shall not perish from the earth. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone who will have the courage to not give up her seat on a bus and thus force a nation to confront its deepest divisions and heal the wounds and pursue the dream that inspires all hearts. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone strong enough to stand against any enemy, foreign or domestic, that would try to steal the freedom so dearly defended, the rights so righteously upheld, yet gentle enough to help a small child carry a star-spangled flag in a hometown parade. So God made a patriot. Then God said, I need a man who will speak the truth to his own leaders, that in order to preserve our great nation, we will not sacrifice the well-being of future generations for the sake of our own. Someone who will tirelessly toil day upon night, no matter the setback, no thought of surrender. Someone who will prayerfully rise every morning to climb the wall as a defender, duly endowed with the honored gift of generations before, while offering a solemn promise to generations ahead. A defender who will ensure that the way of truth and the torch of liberty remain forever lit in this shining city on a hill. So God made a patriot.